start with the turf, and then are there changes or what's?
Yeah, I was just talking to John Wright, and their team, his team, did a great job. I mean, I'm pleased that new turf is down a little bit early. Look, it's got to settle in, and there might be some bumps in the road, some bumps in the grass, whatever you want to call it. But new turf is obviously, for us soccer players, a very, very good thing.
Is the new just like having spongy, or can you tell, like, is there any technical differences?
No, it's just the fact that the blades stick up a little bit more, it rolls truer, and it'll be better for the athletes because it's not as hard. They're not running on a hard surface.
Do you notice a big difference between the turfs around the league? Like, are there certain turfs that you prefer to play on versus others?
Well, I don't want to cast any shade about our opponent, but Vancouver's turf is the different turf.
Right.
Portland, us, this is the style of turf we are used to. I'll put it like that. Vancouver's turf is different. It's a different company, and it plays different. So that. I'm trying to think of any other place that it's just basically up here in this part of the world. I mean,
Houston didn't like your past turf. Do you think that they'll like this one?
Wilmer, I needed to listen to that whole interview because I'm sure Wilmer didn't just kill our turf. I'm sure his comment was we would prefer to play on grass, and I'm sure he said something very politically correct because he's a good guy.
Joevin Jones is back out here. How's he looking? And
a little tired. I mean, look, he didn't play a ton of minutes, but he had to get up early, fly in from KC. So happy to have him back, and actually happy he didn't play a ton of minutes last night. Gives me flexibility for Saturday.
Yeah, so there's a possibility he could be selected.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, he'll be involved in the game for sure.
Okay.
What have you thought of Ocampo-Chavez in the last couple weeks? Or since you had him back?
Well, yeah, that's just it. I mean, I haven't had him back too long because the kid keeps going and starring for other teams. So I'm trying to, solve that one. Individual development versus, the needs of the first team. That's one of the big hot button items within this organization. How do we balance our upcoming crop of really talented kids to bring them always up to me, and they don't play games, and then do they train with me and then play down there, and they're not used to their teammates? It's a conundrum at times. And so, Alfonso has been one of those kids that's done really well. We don't want to curtail that, yet I might play him on Saturday.
How's Justin Dhillon looked?
Good. He's looked good. I mean, he'll need to learn the system a little bit, and, I'll make his task very specific, and we'll see what we get out of him.
So he signed, or?
I believe he will be signed. You guys will be the first ones to know.
Kim Keehee looks like he's fully recovered. Is that?
Yeah, he's fully recovered. He's good.
How excited are you to be back here on Saturday night after a 6-week break?
I'm happy that we're back playing again. Yes, Ryan, that's a good question. The guys are competitive. Coaches, we're still competitive. We weren't happy about our, previous run of matches, so we're happy to get back at it.
What have you seen from the Whitecaps this year? It seems like they got off to a slow start, but then
Well, they haven't lost a bunch of games. Some of the results haven't been wins either, but, what Mark has done is he's made them believe that they can compete in any game, and that's half the battle. I mean, you make your team believe that they're competitive, they can win games at any stretch or any day, any week, then that becomes a pretty tricky opponent.
Interesting quirk of the Copa schedule. You got Uruguay playing Peru.
We'll get one of them back.
Get one of them back. So I assume you'll be watching that and rooting for anybody in particular?
No. I like both Raul and Nico. We wish them the best.
When Abdul Salam was signed, you guys called him a center back. He hadn't actually played a ton of center back, but he now has started to fill in there. What have you thought of his conversion into that role?
That's another really good question. He has come a lot further than I even thought he has. When he first came, look, he's on the late 20s, and he's kind of already established who he was. Had played predominantly right back. So for him to jump at that age inside, there's little nuances of that position that are tremendously important, and he's picked some of those up. I can always say, though, that I have great coaches. I mean, Jimmy's worked long and hard with him to kind of get the nuances of that position. So it's all credit to Jimmy and the kid.
Does it feel like his primary position for you at this point is center back?
Well, he will still spell, if Wingo can break through or, Kelvin goes down or whatever, I have options at right back with Saad. Saad at right back is interesting because it gives you a real big, tall, good on set piece type of back line. Not that Kelvin's a slouch, but, Saad's pretty good in the air. So lots of good choices for me, I would say.
Chad Marshall's farewell this weekend. I know we've talked a lot about Chad, and we've said a lot of those. Is there any particular thoughts that you have about what it was like for you to be working with him for the last 5 years?
I think I said this about Zach, about Clint, about Nelson, about all the guys that have played at this club, and I've been involved with players of that caliber. I feel blessed. I am so fortunate to have worked with a guy like Chad Marshall. Again, I'm biased, but arguably the best center back this league has had, and I've been able to coach him, been his assistant. It's truly an honor for me to be around some of the players that we've had here at this club, and he's in that category.